And Eric Siddall, Vice President of the Association of LA Deputy District Attorneys. Sir, good morning to you, and thank you for your time today.
Good morning. Thank you.
I was reading comments from a previous interview. You say that Gascon knew. How do you know that?
Well, we know that his executive team knew, but I think that really, a lot of attention has been geared on the Tubbs case, but really the Tubbs case is pretty symbolic of the problem of having a blanket policy. And let's just not forget that Tubbs was sentenced as a juvenile pursuant to his policies. Nothing would have changed. Tubbs was sentenced because of Gascon's policies. End of story. The next question, I think, is when did he know? How did he know it in terms of the tapes? There's indications from the deputy who handled the case that the executive management team knew of these tapes at the beginning of February. But I think the other crucial question that has to be answered is this. You interviewed Gascon's spokesperson yesterday. And yesterday, that person said because of these tapes, they learned that criminals do disturbing things. And because they just learned that criminals do disturbing things, they have changed the policy regarding all other cases. That, to me, suggests a complete ineptitude on the part of the executive team of the district attorney. If you just learned on Thursday of last week that criminals do disturbing things and that's why you're going to change your policies, then are you really fit or competent to be the chief prosecutor of Los Angeles County? I think that's the real question.
Couple things here. I want to play you. Alec Bastion came in yesterday. He was on with Dana and me, the man you just referenced.
Right.
Here is a clip of him explaining how Bill Maloogian brought this to their attention first. Watch.
The content of these jail calls was something that we did not know about, and actually it was Bill's email and conversation that notified us of this. And unfortunately, this is not a one-time situation where at times certain key information is not getting to the front office as expeditiously as it should. And fortunately, we found out about these jail calls.
I mean, that goes to a lot of what you were describing there. So our viewers are aware there's an audio clip that's been recorded between the father of the suspect here behind bars in jail. And here's another clip of that we've got also. Watch.
Don't worry about it. It's a strike, but they're going to plead. I'm going to plead out to it. I'm going to plead guilty. They're going to stick me on probation, and it's going to be dropped. It's going to be done. I won't have to register. I won't have to nothing.
For an offender, you don't have to register?
I won't have to do none of that.
So what are they going to do to you then?
Nothing.
Okay, so we'll see what happens on that. There is a suggestion that on this phone call that the gender transformation was being faked. Is that true?
There is some. I've listened to these calls. There is some suggestion that he is trying to manipulate the system to try to say that he's transgender when in fact he is not, so that he gets special housing. There is that suggestion, 100%.
Last point here. What do your fellow prosecutors say? There's one survey out there that suggests 98% support a recall of the DA Gascon. That number seems extraordinarily high. What do you think of that?
So that's not just a survey. That was actually an official vote that was taken by all the line prosecutors, where 98% said that they want him recalled. And I think, again, Tubbs is symbolic of why we want him recalled. Tubbs is symbolic because there's hundreds of other cases just as heinous where people are making a mockery of the system. They are making a mockery of the victims. They're making a mockery of our penal code. And that's why this man needs to be recalled, because he has always been, since day one, on the side of criminals. I think if you took a poll within county jail or the state prison system, he would probably get about 98% approval rating. It must be pretty shocking to know that as you're walking into the office that you're supposed to be leading, there pretty much not one single prosecutor in your office supports your pro-criminal policies.
Yeah, understood. Last thing here. This individual's 26 years old. Is she being kept in a regular jail or juvenile detention now?
from what I understand, a juvenile detention system.
How can a 26-year-old adult, man or woman, be held in juvenile detention?
You know, that's just, that's part of the system that we have. We don't really, you know, look, there's a reason why we have criminal prosecution for juveniles. And that's because some people who commit crimes that are so heinous when they are a juvenile should be treated as adults because their behavior, their actions, their conduct is adult conduct, criminal conduct. That's why we have the transfer system.
Eric Siddall, thank you for clearing a lot of that up for us today, and we'll be in contact with you and everybody else there out in LA. Thank you, sir, for your time today.
Great, thank you.
Sure.